All right, let's go ahead and we're going to get started. I think Bob's just clicked in, so we'll go ahead and get started with Bob and Chris. Well, good morning.
Well, howdy do to you, young lady.
How are you?
You know what? Every day's a holiday, every meal's a banquet.
I love it. Yes,
And
for sure.
I got the wrong hat on. I'm sorry. It's not everything Frederick. I can't. I'm under contractual obligations. I'm only supposed to wear that hat. I am so sorry.
It is all good. It is all good. No problems there. No problems there. We'll just dock your pay a little bit.
That's you know what? Join the list of people who want to take a piece of me, of my money. Hey, did you go tobogganing? Do you have? I was asking this question. I don't know how many people actually have an old-fashioned wooden toboggan anymore.
Oh, well, no, I don't know anyone who's got one either. Yeah, I don't even know anybody who's got one of those old-timey sleds except for display purposes. My dad's got one, but it's only for display.
Right? It's like, oh, this is what I rode when I was a kid, and they don't have them anymore.
Yeah, I know. Chris, we were just talking about going sledding or tobogganing on an old-timey toboggan. Do you know anybody who's got one?
No, but we were talking about that this morning, and I meant to, when we were talking about it, Bob, I meant to tell you because we had to go to a break. I have not seen a toboggan in any store around here. I mean, of course, I don't go looking for it, but during Christmas, I do not. I see those little cheap, I don't even know if you call them a sled. They're these little cheap things with handles that you ride on.
Yeah,
I don't even know what to call them.
They're plastic, which is,
yeah.
We used to have, it was like, if you were really rich, you had like the 6-person toboggan. If not, then you had the 4-person or the 2-person toboggan. I think we had the 4, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe more. But yeah, and then when we really got cool, my cousin who used to work for my dad from Indiana, his name is Jeff. We hooked it up to the back of the tractor, and then would pull it. The tractor had chains on it and stuff, so we would pull the toboggan behind the tractor going up and down the lane.
So
it was always fun until the tractor stopped and you ran into the back of the tractor. Which,
we were too poor to, we couldn't afford a sleigh or a toboggan. So what we would do is we'd wait till my Uncle Nunzio had a little too much to drink, and then we flip him over and go on his back and ride him down the hills. Old Uncle Nuns, man, he would go extremely fast depending on what he drank.
No, I thought you were going to say you put shoe boxes on your feet, grabbed onto a bumper going down,
there you go.
Broadway or whatever, or wherever you lived, in Yonkers or something. But yeah.
So there you go.
I love it.
Uncle Nunzio, may he rest in peace. Yep.
Where are the big sledding hills now, Chris? You've got kids. Do you take them someplace to go sledding?
Really, honestly, Danny, I don't, because we haven't gotten the real large amount of snow since my youngest daughter was born to go sledding. I will say though, for my oldest, when we lived over in, and I know you're familiar with Whittier, when we lived over in Whittier, there were some hills we would go down, and heck, a lot of the townhouses in Whittier have hills in the front that you can actually slide down. But there were some hills in Whittier we would go on, but nothing major.
Woodsboro Park.
That's what we should
have. That's a huge hill.
Yep. And Heath Barnes, the Burgess over there, posted yesterday that there was a lot of people on that hill. Now, the hard part is walking back up the hill. The easy part, sliding back down the hill. So
yeah,
it's a good way to wear the kids out, though.
Right? And then and it's funny because my grandchildren, they live down there in Baltimore now. This was their first major snow that they've ever seen in their lives. So they were loving life. They've never seen it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's great for the first couple of times when you're a kid. And then my daughter, bless her heart, she said this, and it just made me, she said, I brought him inside. I'm making him grilled cheese sandwiches and Sunday school soup, just like you made us, Mom. And I was like, oh, I was like,
traditions.
Yes, and
Traditions
she
live
said the
on. I
same
love
thing.
it.
It was tradition. I'm like, well, we had gloves for your kids, for you kids. They didn't have any gloves because they moved up from Florida. This is not something they're used to
Yeah.
yet, so they gotta get the mittens. And I'm like, honey, you didn't buy mittens already, have you? She goes, no, but they're in my cart.
There you go. Yeah.
Stop.
I remember as a kid though, you to get dressed to go out to play in the snow, you'd be sweating before you go out. And when you
Mm-hmm.
come in and you're frozen and you got all the little frozen, ice all over you, and it's just like stripping off and throwing everything down on the floor on the way in. Oh,
Right.
yeah, just fun.
And then, as a parent, you sit there and you're like, okay, and then you think and then 10 minutes later, like, we want to go back outside again, which takes about another hour to get them all bundled back up again. And then they're like out for 10 minutes, if not, less than that. And they're like, oh, I'm cold. I want to go back in.
At that,
Exactly.
Bob,
Exactly.
listen, at that point when my wife's away and she's out working, I'm watching the kids. At that point, I say, just go outside, forget the coats, all that stuff. Soon enough, you'll freeze or go your own off. You'll just come right back in anyway. So let me
Yeah.
give a little more parenting advice, by the way. Another way to tire your kids out, okay, is to just have them shovel all the snow. And there you go. For more parenting advice, follow Cruz and Chris on Facebook. And then
Yeah. Yeah. That
Make them
lasts
get.
about 2 minutes when you
Yeah.
say, "Hey, go out. Why don't you clear the cars off? Or why don't you do this?" So, yeah, no.
I
well, and
think
kids today,
another. Go ahead,
no,
Chris.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Bob.
Well, I was just saying, I was talking to people and they were showing. I saw like these little hacks online, where like people would put down, I don't know, sheets of plastic on their steps and stuff, or on their car, and all they had to do was just yank it off, and all the snow would come right off. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's ingenious.
I
That's
asked my
ingenious.
husband if we should do that the night before it started snowing for the dog so that there would be a patch of grass, but he's like, "Nah." And she didn't. He actually shoveled a little area and she went over into the snow anyway. So there you go.
I had taken my snowblower and I have gone through the grass, so the dogs have had a path to walk from the front of the house to the back of the house and a place to go to the bathroom. Absolutely, the
Yeah.
things we do for our pets.
That's
Well,
right.
unless you're my dog, you just go in the house whenever you want. Apparently, you let them outside, spend about 20 minutes out there with them. They run around, chew sticks, chase things, go back inside and poop inside.
My
So
Uncle
That is
don't
Charlie used to
because
follow
do that too.
you didn't stay out long enough at the puppy
20
training
minutes.
stage.
20
I,
minutes. How much long? I'm thinking maybe when we get them fixed, certain things aren't hanging under the snow and it's not freezing, then maybe he'll go outside. I don't know. I give up. Don't follow me for pet parenting advice because apparently I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Anyway,
no. I think we have to uncover, because there is no sports. So I will
Yes.
I will take my sports time to mention the fact that Chris Michaels, we talked about this yesterday, has been given the challenge of watching movies for the children of Frederick County, and he gave us a bad review on one of the best movies in the world, and Shawshank Redemption. He did
Yeah.
not like it.
He did not like it.
No, I don't
And
understand it.
we're still questioning how we love this guy so much. And he said the movie was boring, Bob.
Boring. Well, he did mention after that on the air that he wasn't intellectual enough to understand the movie.
I did admit that. Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't understand why he was asking for the rock hammer and things of that nature. But now
I
he
did.
understands. So get living or get dying.
I did have to rewind it a couple of times to understand some of the intelligent points, but me and Danny actually had this discussion yesterday, and to prove my lack of intelligence, Danny used words I had no clue what the heck she was talking about. One of the words I thought was something that you get, in your 40s, done by the doctor. I can't recall what the word is, but she's using big words.
Colloquialism.
What was it?
Colloquial.
No, there was another one that I think that you used. But anyway,
Vernacular. Vernacular
uh,
was the other one.
maybe it was the first one then. But so trying to figure out the words, having a conversation with Danny, I always have to Google things because she says these words. I don't know what they're, but yes, I thought, I found it to be, just call me Cisco and Ebert. I found it to be extremely boring. There was no look. The only reason why I watched it, Bob, was because I saw it was a movie about jail. So I figured there'd be some awesome fights, some bloodshed, some stabbings. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only fight I saw was a fight with the sisters, which I'm not going to get into. Just so you know, I was watching the movie, and that was the only fight I saw, and was not impressed. So no, I did not like the movie at all.
Yeah, hey, I understand. It was only nominated for Best Actor in a Lead Role, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Picture, Best Sound, Best Writing, Screenplay. Hey, don't worry about that. It was all nominated for all that, but it was boring. It was boring. And vernacular is how you talk, brother.
But it wasn't as good as my favorite movie I've seen over and over again, Dumb and Dumber. I don't care what anybody says.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Gracious. Well, it's for the kids, so you're gonna have to suffer through some of these other ones too. But we love everybody that's jumped on board, and I've encouraged my Good Morning Frederick viewers to look at the list and throw $1 in a jar this year as you watch some of these classic movies, and save it for the first week of December for Christmas Cash for Kids.
Well, we got to pick his next movie.
Yeah.
Did we do? You said you wanted to do a baseball movie because somebody said they'll give $5 for every baseball movie he's right.
Yeah, Rick Wilson.
Rick Wilson.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I wasn't aware of the rules being changed to where you picked the movie. I thought I picked the movie.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let me get that list of rules over here. That was
you didn't like Shawshank Redemption. You have got to be educated, as Tim May would say. You've got to be educated on these movies.
That's a word I understand. Finally, thank you, Bob. A word that I understand. Whew, jeez. Okay. Well, the two of you go ahead and discuss what movie you want to pick out. While you're doing that, I'll go ahead and read the local news that's going on here. The Maryland budget deficit expected to be the biggest issue in the 2025 General Assembly session. General Assembly will gavel into session on Wednesday, January 8th at noon. Frederick County Delegate Jesse Pippy says the biggest issue facing lawmakers this year is the budget. Isn't that always the biggest issue when it comes to things like that? It's always the budget. We were talking about Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who I know it's not Frederick, who resigned, and part of it is because, well, the money over there in Canada, the economy. Whoops, I just lost my page here. Okay, getting back to other local news here. Detectives investigate Veers Mill Road auto theft. Surveillance photos of the suspect were released. That was a 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Is it just me, or does it seem like a lot of these Hyundais get broken into? I have one also, so I'm a little worried about that. But if you head to our website at WFMD.com, you'll see the photos of the suspect in that theft. They released the surveillance photos. They show the two suspects were walking through the parking garage at the Wheaton Mall. Here's a piece of advice. If you have a car, don't go to the Wheaton Mall. As a matter of fact, stay out of Wheaton, maybe PG County in general. I'm just kidding. For those who are in PG County, I love PG County. I'm just joking. So there you go. And taking a look at the weather, partly cloudy. It is going to be windy. Danny and Bob, we're talking about 20 to 30 miles per hour winds. I heard up to possibly 40-mile-an-hour winds. And people like me and Danny, who have that long, beautiful hair, have to be careful that it doesn't get blown in the wind. It's going to be a low of 21, high of 33 today. Tomorrow, high of 30 and a low of 19. It's going to be windy again tomorrow. And I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward to Saturday. I hate to say this, but it looks like we might get some snow on Saturday. I heard of a possible snowstorm. Again, it's too early to know totals right now, or if there will be a snowstorm. But from what I see, we might be getting snow. So just saying, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm always the bearer of bad news. Why not talk about possible snow on Saturday? And there you go.
All right.
Oh, wait, one more thing. I'm sorry. For all our update closings, head to WFMD.com. I've been reading them all day, so I can't do it anymore. School closings and governmental closings, all that stuff over there. I'm sorry about that.
Well, if you haven't figured out something is closed or school's closed by now, you were late anyway. So there you go.
Yeah. according, remember the Great Grundoon? You remember Tommy Grunwell? And
Yeah.
he would get on the air and go, "Don't call me anymore. Schools are closed."
That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, hey,
Oh my God,
you
that
can
is great.
only do that if you're the Great Grundoon. So there you go.
Yeah, and only back then,
Yeah,
actually. Only
right.
back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. So how about? I think he mentioned this earlier. Grease. It's not one of my favorite movies, but
Yeah.
he can watch
I think
Grease.
his wife will enjoy it and the kids can watch it and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one. And yeah, I think we need to just kind of recalibrate Chris and get him back to, maybe something about Mary or, some of those comedies that are on there. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, all those
Yeah.
would be
Wait, something about Mary. That sounds like a religious. Is that a religious one to watch?
Yes,
yes.
it is. Yes, it is.
Okay,
It's
well, all right, I can do a little religious
Oh,
one. There you go.
you know what? There's another. Oh gosh, now it just left my mind. That's not on the list, and it's really not appropriate, but it is coming up Easter time. The Passion of the Christ.
I
Oh,
saw that,
yes.
Bob. I
Oh, you
saw that.
did?
I
Okay.
took my
Well then,
grandmother. May God rest her soul. I took my grandmother because my grandmother, Italian lady, very religious, always, with the cross and the crosses all over the house and all that stuff. So I took her to see the movie, and I was so scared because I heard when it came out in the movie theater. I took her, as a matter of fact, and I was so scared because I heard it was a very rough movie. And I was afraid she was going to have a heart attack because she was older. But she sat through it, man, and she bawled. That was I would I would venture to say that that movie might have been just as tough as Saving Private Ryan, maybe in a different way, I
mm-hmm.
guess. But it was a tough movie to see. But I did see that movie.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. So Grease, Grease,
Yeah,
the Princess Bride. And if you and if you want to watch a comedy or a fantasy movie, the Commanders against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
okay, now, you
Look at
didn't
that.
get yeah, I like it. I like how you come in on Tuesday with that. Not
Yeah.
so close to the Sunday smacking. So there you go.
Yeah.
So
Well,
look, I'm going to throw something out there, Danny, for all your viewers. Okay, I'm going to do what we call something extra. Okay, for
Okay.
those that donate a little extra money here to Christmas Cash for Kids. Okay, since I think we settled on Greece, what I'll do is if you donate a few extra bucks to Christmas Cash for Kids, what I will do is on Good Morning Frederick, I'll do some of the Grease dance moves.
Oh
What do you
boy.
think? Huh? Yeah.
I'll give extra so he doesn't.
Yeah.
That'll work too. That'll work too. Extra, extra. I won't
How
do
do
it.
you
There you
know
go.
How do you know it's a musical?
Well, everybody knows that Grease is a musical.
Oh, okay.
I
Oh,
just never
there
That's
you
seen
because
it.
go.
most people have seen it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I
Yes.
guess he hasn't lived under a rock all these years. He just hasn't watched the movies. So there you
Yeah.
go. All
Yeah.
right.
There
Well,
you
you
go.
gentlemen have a great day. We will see
Thank
you
you, Danny. And
tomorrow.
hopefully there'll be, hopefully we'll get back to school so we can have some high school basketball, some wrestling, some other things going on, and some other
Yes.
sports. I mean, it's kind of hard when nobody's ever, able to play anything. So
They're gonna have to double up
yeah,
if they keep missing. Yeah, for sure. All
absolutely.
right.
Have a great day. Good
You
morning,
too.
Frederick.
All right. Want to thank those gentlemen for joining us every single day. Oh, that's a good one, Mama Cone. The Sting. I don't think we put that on the list. Might have to add that. I got to look. I can't even remember now because now we're well over 200 movies on the list. All right. We're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to be back with what's happening in Frederick.